Fruiton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Meganson. Live hurricane coverage starts right now.
3:46 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. We have a new tornado warning to tell you about for parts of Baldwin and Escambia counties. Escambia in northwest Florida, Baldwin in coastal Alabama. Possible tornado right now is going to be very near Fort Pickens, coming into areas near NAS, Pensacola, and Warrington over the next few minutes. Good Sunday evening to you. I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson, tracking Hurricane Ida this evening. Yet another feeder band that has produced a possible tornado that has prompted a new tornado warning, valid until 4:30 p.m. This possible tornado is going to be moving just like this, and on that trajectory, it is going to be an issue shortly for the communities of Warrington, also Myrtle Grove, West Pensacola, Bellevue, and also Beulah in Escambia County in northwest Florida. Again, this is a brand new tornado warning just coming on the board as of 3:46 p.m. And the first thing we need to do is get out a new app alert for our wonderful folks involved in this tornado warning. First, we'll do Baldwin County. Again, it's the far eastern part of Baldwin County, Alabama. And also for Escambia County in Florida, there is a new tornado warning. This does include a part of the Pensacola metropolitan area. And so if you're in the western part of Pensacola, this does apply to you, and we need you to get sheltered right now as there could be a possible tornado moving in from the south. So let's talk about who's involved in the warning and who's not. If you'll take down that banner, please, sir, because this is a new tornado warning, but I want to talk about who's involved in the warning first. So if I call your community out, you need to take action and do something about this and get to a safe place now, as we could have a possible tornado moving in. The western part of the Pensacola metro area, Warrington, NAS, Pensacola. If you live within 5 miles of NAS, Pensacola, you are involved in this new tornado warning. Lillian in Baldwin County, Seminole, also areas near Beulah, Tate High School, Cantonment, Muskogee, Barano Park, Gateswood, also areas near Ensley involved in this tornado warning. This is for the western part of the Pensacola metro area. Let's go to the iPad so you can see the high-res velocity view here. And your possible tornado is going to be located right there. That's it. And this is certainly one of the best signatures that I've seen all day. And this is indicative that we could have a tornado down, potentially a water spout at this point, very near Fort Pickens, moving like that. And so on that trajectory, it's going to cross the bay and emerge here near NAS, Pensacola, and Warrington, before moving into areas near Bellevue and also out here, likely just to the west of Car City in Pensacola. This will likely come just to the west of Baptist Hospital, but we do note that Baptist Hospital is included in this tornado warning polygon here in Pensacola. And so also downtown Pensacola technically is included in the warning polygon. And so even though most likely the greatest tornado danger in Pensacola will be on the western side of town, downtown Pensacola and points back to the west are included in this tornado warning polygon that's valid until 4:30 p.m. Again, we've had several hours without a tornado warning. This is a new one that's valid until 4:30 local time. Let's go back over to LD2 and look at the radar. This is the classic radar view, the classic reflectivity. And again, here's the current situation as it stands across the region. Multiple feeder bands across our region. Here's band number 1 we're tracking that extends basically from Milry and Chatham through Clark and Monroe counties back into Conecuh, Escambia, and Covington County, and also into northwest Florida. But this secondary band that we're tracking right in through here is the one that is most problematic. And keep in mind, other cells may produce a tornado imminently. In fact, on that note, let's go to the iPad, because yes, we are tracking this storm coming into Warrington and areas near NAS, Pensacola over here. But in addition to that, we're also tracking a storm that may prompt a new tornado warning for parts of Baldwin County, a bit to the east of the original warning. And so this one would likely be shaped just like that if the Weather Service chooses to issue another tornado warning. So I'm just telling you, if you're in Gulf Shores, Foley, Point Clear, Magnolia Springs, Barnwell, Fairhope, Daphne, Silver Hill, putting you on notice, you may get a tornado warning very shortly. But again, we are here to cover the active warning that is in progress, and that signature is certainly indicative that there could be a water spout down or perhaps a tornado happening near Fort Pickens, moving up the pike just like that. So again, on that trajectory, going to be an issue for Warrington and NAS Pensacola first, before ultimately moving up here near Beulah, Bellevue, also areas near the I-10 rest area, Muskogee, areas like Cantonment are involved, Inslee, Carr City, Brent, and again, the western part of the Pensacola Metro. Myrtle Grove also involved in this tornado warning, valid until 4:30 local time. Let's see if I can pull up the satellite imagery, because I do want to also give you an update on our ongoing situation. Let's go back over to LD1 and I'll show you Ida. Look at this. Wow, that is a horrific scene happening over here in Louisiana. That is the eye of this ferocious Category 4 hurricane that remains very near its peak intensity on this Sunday evening, moving now just a bit more to the north. What happened here, it moved to the northwest, and now it's beginning to feel the effect around this subtropical ridge of high pressure in the Carolinas, and so the center of Ida is moving in a more northerly fashion. Unfortunately, that's bad news for New Orleans and also right here in Baton Rouge. Big time wind impacts are expected in those two cities imminently over the next few hours. So let's go back to the local radar here, and I'll zoom in because we're tracking this possible tornado in the Pensacola metro area out on the western side of town. This is going to be an imminent issue for areas near NAS Pensacola, which is right here, Warrington, Myrtle Grove, coming into areas out here also like Bellevue, and basically just to the west of downtown Pensacola. This is going to be US Highway 98 right in through here that connects Lillian and Foley back over to Pensacola. And so we're calling no travel at this point on US Highway 98 from Lillian back over to downtown Pensacola. You can't be traveling. The worst place to be in a tornado is a mobile home or a car. You can't be in a vehicle, because what happens is, obviously, vehicles are designed to be mobile, and so vehicles can start flying and going everywhere. We lose way too many people across this nation each year due to tornado fatalities in cars. So if you know someone who would be driving this evening along US Highway 98 from Lillian back over to downtown Pensacola, call them, let them know they've got to pull over, and again, can't be in the middle of this possible tornado that is right now at or approaching NAS Pensacola. If you live within 5 miles in any given direction of NAS Pensacola, you need to be sheltered from this possible tornado. What does that look like for you? Let's put up the reminders. Let's go to the graphics. And this applies for NAS Pensacola, Warrington, also areas near Bellevue, Beulah, Muskogee, Cantonment, areas near Tate High School, areas near and just west of Carr City in Pensacola. Basically, Highway 29 points back to the west, involved in this tornado warning for Escambia County in Florida. Has nothing to do with Escambia County, Alabama right now. This is for Escambia County in Florida. We want you to get to the lowest floor of a site-built structure. If you can get underground, that's great. If not, that's okay too. And perhaps the most important thing on this list, put a helmet on. Yes, indeed, you got to have something to protect your head. Back over to LD1. Earlier, we mentioned if you don't have a helmet, that's okay, but you've got to have something hard and sturdy to protect your head. So, what do you grab? You grab a cooking pot. That's something we all have under our counters. It's a great idea to protect your head in tornadoes. Why? Because most tornado injuries happen due to blunt force trauma to the skull region. So protect your head. NAS Pensacola, Warrington, Myrtle Grove, coming into areas near Bellevue as well. So again, no travel on US Highway 98 from Lillian back over to downtown Pensacola. And several other roads involved in here that we are encouraging no travel on this evening. Just looking down to see if we've got any more messages from the NWS chat. Tell you what, we have got an issue that has just been reported by NWS Mobile. We're going to have to switch the radar source. Getting word that the local radar has just gone down. I don't know why, but the Weather Service is suggesting that everyone switch to KEVX, and so we have done that. What happens here, you're looking at local radar data now coming from Eglin Air Force Base, thank you, in Northwest Florida. And so the radar site actually sits right here in Red Bay in Walton County, north of Seaside, north of Santa Rosa Beach, north of Panama City, right there, tiny community of Red Bay. This possible tornado, though, is in good range of this radar as well. So we have two radars. The Mobile radar is down. It's done for now. So we're not, worried about why it's down, but hopefully it will come back up. But we're now tracking this possible tornado using data from Eglin. And let's see if we can go over to the velocity view on that, just to see exactly what we're talking about. And right in through there, there's your possible tornado right there. This is your possible tornado right at Myrtle Grove and Warrington, basically crossing US Highway 98 right in through here. So this is quickly going to emerge on the north side of 98. But let me tell you, I don't want to get so specific. If you are at Myrtle Grove or Warrington, you be sheltered. Same thing at Bellevue up the road here. Also, we would encourage everyone on the west side of the Pensacola Metro, let's say, just to be safe, west of Interstate 110. All right, so if you live to the west of 110, I want you in your tornado safe place now. All right, and I'll be able to give you an all clear in about 5 or 10 minutes. This is not going to be a deal that lasts forever, not long at all most likely, but you got to be sheltered in the western side of the Pensacola Metro. Again, there's 110, and we're calling everyone to the west of 110 in the the Pensacola Metro. I apologize, not Mobile. This is Pensacola. No active tornado warning for Mobile. This is strictly for Pensacola. We encourage everyone west of 110 to be in a safe place. That includes Bellevue, Cerny Heights, also Brent, areas out here towards Car City. If you know where Bob Tyler Toyota is, right in through here, Pine Forest, Inslee, Beulah. You've also got the rest area on Interstate 10 right in through here. If you live near there, near any of those landmarks, we need you to be in a tornado safe place, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. That is very unfortunate, to say the least, that our local radar just went down, but we're certainly thankful to have a backup. Let's go over to the iPad and you can get a better view of this same data, but let's look at it in a high-res fashion. And that's going to be your possible tornado right there on the western side of the Pensacola Metro. I realize it looks kind of wacky with the RF channel in through there, but this is no doubt about it your possible tornado coming into areas near Beulah over the next few minutes. So call to action has shifted now to the northern side of the Pensacola Metro, really northwestern corner at Beulah, Gonzales, areas near Inslee right in through here, Brent, and also areas out here near Pine Forest, which is right here. You need to be in that tornado safe place. You need to be doing something about it and getting sheltered. I realize it's Sunday evening and a lot of folks, have their kids down for a nap, something like that. Wake them up. You get them in the tornado safe place now if you're in these areas. And of course, just like always, if you know someone who may be less weather aware than you, we strongly encourage you to tag them in the comments below. In addition, call them, text them. I don't care how you get in touch with them. Let them know there's a possible tornado on the western side of the Pensacola, Florida metro area. Let's go back over to LD1 and we'll show you what's happening across the region. Put this into motion. And I believe this is actually still on that old radar data from the primary site there at Mobile. Let's go to Eglin. There we go. And again, you're getting an all-new scan in, so you can see exactly the latest data. We'll put this in motion. You do have heavy rain falling right now in Monroeville, Evergreen, areas near and just north of Andalusia, like Strawn, out here towards Brooks and Red Level. Those storms are under severe limits. So if you're near the Highway 84 corridor inland here, across southwest Alabama and into south central Alabama, you are okay. All this mess across Escambia County, Alabama, and also Okaloosa County, you're okay as well. No issues for now. This is stratiform rain, aka nothing to worry about. The only storm of big concern right now is happening in the southern part of Escambia County in Florida. And I'll tell you, this does include a part of Baldwin County as well. If you're in Seminole, you need to be taking those tornado warning precautions now. Same thing at Gateswood. This is County Highway 112 that connects Bay Minette down to ultimately Pensacola. So we're calling no travel from Gateswood back down to Pensacola on 112. Also, no travel on Interstate 10, let's say from the Baldwin Beach Express exit, which is right there where the new Buc-ee's gas station is, right here, all the way back over to, let's say, the Davis Highway exit of Interstate 10, which is the main exit right before you get to Interstate 110. From that exit, Davis Highway, back over to Buc-ee's and the Baldwin Beach Express, you don't want to be driving on Interstate 10, as this possible tornado is lifting off to the north. And Bruce, are you seeing anything in the way of comments on Twitter Facebook, I should say, not Twitter? And one thing that is always helpful in these situations, we talked about this in one of the earlier broadcasts today, if your power goes out, even if you are not technically involved in this tornado warning, it is immensely valuable to us to know that information. Why? Because if you let us know your power's out, that lets us know that something could be going on. And if we start getting a lot of reports, that lets us know that there could be weather-related damage. So let us know if your power is out in the comments below, and that would be super helpful, especially if you're involved in this tornado warning polygon that continues until 4:30. This has really ramped up on the reflectivity signature. It's still kind of hard to ascertain on velocity to a certain extent, but nonetheless, our calls to action continue here in the southern part of Escambia County in Florida. Possible tornado is very near Myrtle Grove and Bellevue, moving just like this. There is a westerly component of motion here, so even though it's moving north, it's not moving due north. It's moving just a bit to the west of due north, and so this is going to be coming into areas near US Highway 90, which is this line right in through here, over the next little bit. Pine Forest, if you're familiar with that area, you know that there's the Publix, there's the Starbucks, AT&T store right in through here. If you know where those landmarks are near Pine Forest on the northwestern side of the Pensacola Metro, you need to be in a tornado safe place now. You needed to be in there about 10 minutes ago, but get there now if you are just now getting this tornado warning. Let's go back over to the iPad, and again, it's a mess here, not really because of the storm structure. I can't really see the storm structure because of our radar outage over in the Mobile radar is down. If you're just now joining us, we're looking at Eglin data, Eglin Air Force Base radar data, and certainly there is a signature in through here. No doubt about it. That's a tornado signature, but it's a bit hard to see because this is a little bit farther from the radar site over at Eglin Air Force Base than we would like to get a good vantage point of it. But nonetheless, that's a couplet, and one of the telltale signs that you could have a tornado on the ground in these hurricane and tropical environments, you see all that lightning that has developed right near the mesocyclone. That is often indicative of a mesocyclone that could be producing a tornado on the ground. And so what that means is if you're at Beulah or areas near Pine Forest, Gonzales Cantonment, or areas near I-10 or that rest area that sits right here on Interstate 10, you need to be in your tornado safe place, all right? Lowest floor, site-built structure away from windows and doors, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. In fact, Bruce, I think let's go to LD2 because as much as I love our high-res data, this is actually a better vantage point. Possible tornado is going to be right in through there. That's your possible tornado, and this is going to be moving like that. So this most likely will stay a bit to the west of the Highway 29 corridor, which is right here. But from Highway 29 westward, back over towards Beulah and Pine Forest, you need to be sheltered. If you are west of Highway 29 in the Pensacola Metro, you need to be sheltered. And I tell you, in just a minute, we'll be able to give some more all-clear messages out. However, some good news to pass along. NAS Pensacola and Warrington, you get an all-clear. So again, if you are at or within 5 miles of NAS Pensacola, I'll give you a tornado all-clear for now. More tornadoes possible over the next few hours. Same thing at Warrington. all clear for now. You can come out of that tornado warning hiding place. It is okay to exit your tornado safety plan in Warrington, but it is not okay to exit if you are at Bellevue or areas near Beulah or Pine Forest. That's a possible tornado right in through here, very near and just south of Interstate 10 at this point. Again, if you know someone that may be traveling at this point on Interstate 10 on a Sunday evening around 4 o'clock, call them, let them know, can't be traveling near Beulah or near the northwestern side of the Pensacola metro area out here towards Ensley on Interstate 10. Could have a tornado crossing the interstate just like that if this thing stays down over the next few minutes. And I see that the Hurricane Center has actually just sent out their 4 o'clock advisory package for Hurricane Ida at this point. Tell you what, while we continue to track this possible tornado in southern Escambia County, Florida, let's go over to LD1 and I'll read you the latest advisory that we have from the Hurricane Center on Hurricane Ida that continues to move to the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. So the thing is moving a bit slower than it was earlier today. And that's what we expected. That was in the forecast. And I'll tell you what, we'll look at this before we get out of here today. This forecast with this hurricane has been spectacular. You know, 2 weeks ago with Tropical Storm Fred, it was all over the board. This cone of uncertainty was moving left and right. Ida has been, frankly, a very easy hurricane to forecast. And you hate to say that because obviously it is a catastrophe that's ongoing, especially across southeastern Louisiana, but nonetheless, a much more accurate and precise forecast days in advance. And we'll look at some of the data on that in just a minute. Here's the latest advisory on Ida as of 4 o'clock, 29.5 north, 90.6 west. That means that the center of the eye of Ida is only about 45 miles to the southwest of New Orleans. We'll briefly zoom in there and then go back to our tornado warning. What's really notable to me is that the eye of this hurricane has maintained its structure while moving inland over southeastern Louisiana. Normally when a hurricane comes on shore, you kind of see that eye collapse around the eye wall. It kind of collapses upon itself as the storm begins to weaken. But a situation here where all of these bayous in southeastern Louisiana, it's a bit different because you've still got very warm water, especially on the surface level of these bayous, that contributes to the evaporation level, and thus you've still got a powerful hurricane. Maximum sustained winds at this hour are still in the neighborhood of 130 miles an hour. So even though this thing has been on land for we're 4 o'clock and it made landfall at noon, so that's 4 hours. This thing is still a Category 4 hurricane. All right, so a big deal over here in southeast Louisiana. Center is now 45 miles to the southwest of New Orleans, battering Houma, Louisiana. I would not want to be in Houma, Louisiana at this point. Let's go back over to the iPad because the high-res data has finally come back online. There we go. And your possible tornado in southern Escambia County, Florida, in one of the outer bands of Hurricane Ida, is currently situated right there in terms of this possible tornado lifting off to the northwest like that. That's going to be the trajectory, and that's going to put it very near Seminole over the next little bit. If you are at Seminole, Alabama in Baldwin County, you need to be in that tornado safe place right now, putting as many walls as you can between you and the outside world. This thing is moving just like that. And that's also going to be an issue for Beulah, areas near the I-10 rest area, and also potentially Gateswood and Barano Park in about 20 minutes or so, maybe less than that, maybe more like 15 minutes up here. And the signature certainly continues to be visible on the velocity display, which means that there very well could be a tornado down at this point. Let's go back over to LD1. We'll show you the wide view across our local area as we continue to track showers and thunderstorms inland. We only have one tornado warning, and that currently is for far eastern Baldwin County, and also much of southern and western Escambia County in Florida. Not Escambia County, Alabama, but Escambia County in Florida. We've got a polygon update to tell you about. Let's zoom in there and show you exactly what's happened here with your warning. And with that, I can give you a few more all clear messages. And so we previously gave NAS, Pensacola, and Warrington an all clear. Again, all clear NAS and also Warrington. We now can give an all clear to Myrtle Grove. If you're at Myrtle Grove, Florida, we'll give you an all clear. The tornado danger has clearly passed you to the north at this point. And I think based on this, it is prudent to go ahead and give Bellevue an all clear as well. So if you're at Bellevue and Cerny Heights, we'll give you an all clear as well, because the possible tornado is way up here at this point on this particular map view. If you're in Pine Forest, you need to remain in that tornado safe place. Same thing at Beulah, also areas out here on the west side of 29 out here in Gonzales. This also is going to be near Cantonment, Barano Park, areas near Gateswood. Those are the next communities in line. Looks like this will pass just a bit to the east of Seminole. So if you're at Seminole, what I would do if I were in your shoes, I would remain in that tornado safe place, because look, the polygon basically goes right through Seminole. If you're at Seminole, I would remain in that safe place. But especially out here on the western side of Seminole towards Elsinore, the polygon has been trimmed back. Elsinore is out, and even part of Seminole is out. But again, I would stay in that tornado safe place if you're at Seminole. And also areas near Beulah, you are in the heart of where this possible tornado may be at this point. Looking to see if we've got any other imminent tornadoes that could develop. I don't see any right now. However, I will say that this storm that we were tracking in Baldwin County, it's virtually impossible to see the low levels of the atmosphere, which is really unfortunate. But that's the nature of the game. Unfortunately, sometimes these radars go down. It's not our system that's down. It's the actual radar dish itself that sits at the National Weather Service office in Mobile. And what an unfortunate time for that machine to go down. But nonetheless, we're thankful for these backup radars. And again, we're using the Eglin Air Force Base radar at this point. We'll zoom out a bit. Very heavy rain is happening in southern Baldwin County. By the way, no tornado warning for any part of Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Foley, or Alberta. There was a warning near those areas earlier. This is simply heavy rain, a heavy rain band associated with Hurricane Ida moving away from that center of circulation. And again, the one we're concerned about right now is near Beulah in northwest Florida, coming into areas near Cantonment. We'll zoom in real tight, and let's see if we can get our spatial tools out again so that I can give you some of these streets involved. So again, there is this is going to be Florida County Highway, or excuse me, Escambia County Highway 97. You've also got Muskogee Road right in through here. And I tell you, the same areas from earlier this morning that were under that tornado warning near Muskogee Road, that same area near that large paper mill at Cantonment is yet again under a tornado warning. So we need you to be in that safe place. If you're at Cantonment, you are involved in this active tornado warning that's valid until 4:30 local time. Latest message from the Weather Service was over 10 minutes ago, and the last thing they said was a possible tornado approaching the Bellevue area. But here's the deal, the tornado is long past Bellevue at this point, and since then we have given Bellevue and points south an all clear. By the way, the western part of the Pensacola Metro also gets an all clear. The western part of the metro to the west of Highway 29, you are in the clear. Possible tornado is up here near Pine Forest, coming into areas really near Seminole and also Gateswood and Barano Park next in line along the Perdido River, which serves as the state line between Alabama and Florida there in Escambia County. Seeing any reports of damage? No? Well, that's a good thing. Certainly don't want to see any damage. I see that we've got a new flash flood warning that's coming on the board. That's going to be for parts of Baldwin County. We'll show you that in just a moment. And I appreciate all of the photos that everyone keeps sending in from across the region. That is always immensely helpful. If you will, take me over to my MacBook, please. And I'll show you this. This is a shelf cloud view that we got from Ott, Alabama. This photo is from Cody Lee. And I'm showing you this because you may be seeing skies just like that near this tornado-warned storm. Just because you have a nasty cloud doesn't mean there's a tornado down necessarily, but you could have a possible tornado near Beulah and also areas north of Bellevue coming into areas in Cantonment right now with skies that likely look like that. We don't want folks involved in the tornado warning. Let's go back over to LD1. Don't want folks in the warning to get out and try to see this thing. You're probably not going to be able to see it, as this is likely a rain-wrapped small tornado. The signature is not conducive for a long-track violent tornado or anything like that, but just like always in these landfalling hurricanes, you can get a brief spin-up tornado. And I tell you, there is just very little. Let's go back over to the iPad. There is very, very little evidence on radar of this tornado, but I will say there is some lightning, and one of the reasons we may not be seeing the radar data as well is because, again, we've switched to our secondary radar site, and that site hits this area at about 6,000 or 7,000 feet above your head. So that means even if there is a tornado down, there's a very real probability that you're not going to get a good signature in through here. These are very low-topped cells today that continue to produce these possible tornadoes. We did have a confirmed tornado earlier today in the, I believe it was the second tornado warning that we had for these same areas, if I'm not mistaken. It came in from a ham radio operator. I do remember that, but I can't remember exactly where the confirmed tornado was. I think it was in southern Baldwin County near Alberta, if I'm not mistaken. So we know we've had at least one tornado today. Could have another one happening now very near Interstate 10. Let's go back over to LD1 and we'll show you that this possible tornado is going to be right in through here, right here on the back side of this heavier band of precipitation. Right in through here is going to be your possible tornado, likely on the western side of Cantonment. If there's anything down at this point, it's most likely happening somewhere in this zone, likely to the west of Highway 29, which is that thicker gray line that you see right here. That's 29. This thicker line right there is Interstate 10, and your possible tornado would be right in through here, lifting just like that. That road, by the way, is the one that crosses the Perdido River and becomes Alabama Highway 112. And I say that it's actually Baldwin County Highway 112 that ultimately goes up to Gateswood. That road right in through there, very long road from Bay Minette back down to the Pensacola Metro. And again, possible tornado is moving just like that to the northwest. And again, if you are in the tornado warning polygon that we have been talking about now for the last 30 minutes or so, hopefully you're in your safe place, but let us know what you hear, all right? If you hear heavy rain, that's helpful to know. If you hear, thunder, there is some lightning involved with this particular cell, let us know. If you see out a window, I hope you're away from windows, but if you see out a window that there's very heavy rain, maybe some trees and branches blowing around, that would be helpful. Let us know where you are in this polygon so that we can have a better vantage point of what's going on. That would be immensely helpful since we're really kind of flying blind, if I'm being honest with you. The Mobile radar is down, and Eglin is a phenomenal radar, but it's located farther away from this cell, and so we just don't have a good vantage point of what's happening here. But the Weather Service does have that data, and they are telling us that they're keeping this warning in place at least for now. Go back over to the iPad, and I think you'll be able to see the lightning data a little bit better on this. This is lightning data from the GLM, the Global Lightning Mapper, that's on board the the GOES satellite over the equator. It actually looks down, and anytime, this is great, anytime there's a lightning strike over North America, it pinpoints it and knows exactly where it is. It's a really neat piece of technology that launched with that satellite back in 2016. It's been immensely helpful, And with lightning data like this right over the Perdido River, just to the south of Gateswood and just really to the west of Gonzales and north of Beulah, could have a possible tornado right in through there. Let's zoom in on that with my viewer here. And again, it's noisy, no doubt about it, but that could be your possible tornado. And again, this is very unhelpful in terms of context. I realize that. But just to paint the picture of where you are on the map, here's Molino. Florida State Highway 97 is there. U.S. Highway 29 is right here. That's the Escambia River. This is Escambia County, Florida. Santa Rosa County, Florida there. Gonzales here. Baldwin County back behind me here. And so that's Interstate 10. So this is in a rural part of Baldwin County, now near or just north of Seminole. Possible tornado tracking off to the northwest at about 40 miles per hour. All right, just got a message from the Weather Service, and they have now indicated that the cell with the rotation has now crossed Highway 90, very near Seminole, just to the east of Seminole. Let's go back over to LD1, and we'll put this whole blob of rain on the radar into motion because, again, this was triggered by a cell down here that emerged near Fort Pickens and also Warrington and NAS Pensacola. Those areas were under the tornado warning, but we've previously given those areas an all clear. And so there's no more tornado warning down here south of Bellevue at this point, but there is an ongoing tornado warning valid until 4:30 local time, so 8 more minutes on this, for the far eastern part of Escambia County in Florida, or excuse me, far western part, I apologize, and far eastern part of Baldwin County, near Gateswood and near Seminole. Those are the only 2 areas in Baldwin County involved in this active tornado warning, Seminole and Gateswood. You need to be in that tornado safe place. All right, and just got a new message. The Weather Service is going to expire this tornado warning. So what that means is we're going to hang out here for about 3 more minutes, and then we'll give you the all clear, because again, they're going to allow this to expire. They've already sent the message and said that they're going to do that, but that means that the warning is active for just a few more minutes. And then we're going to talk about what you can expect over the next few hours. So again, let's go back into this cell. And while we're looking at this, I know that I'm getting a little bit technical on you, but I think it'll give you a little bit more context here. Let's go to the iPad, and I want to show you these numbers because this tornado warning that we've been tracking over the last 45 minutes or so, we've had to use Eglin Air Force Base radar, and it's kind of hard for you to see, but that says beam height 7.7 thousand feet. So what that means is the radar site there at Red Bay, Florida in Walton County is hitting this cell. In other words, when it's sending out that energy to receive it back, it's hitting it at about 7.7 thousand feet above your head. That is not very indicative necessarily of what's happening down at the surface. Whereas if we were able to use our normal radar over in Mobile, you would be looking at a beam height of approximately half of that. 3.6 thousand feet. And so what that means is a much better vantage point of this possible tornado to know if it's still down. Right now, this data is old in terms of what you're seeing there from the Mobile radar. So let's go to the current view from Eglin Air Force Base. And again, this possible tornado is moving like that. And you know what I see on radar scope, that the warning has actually gone away. And so let's see if that has been canceled. Indeed, that appears to be the picture because it's off my other system as well. And so let's go back over to LD1 if we can, please, sir. There was the warning, and again, it is now gone for parts of Escambia County and also Baldwin County, eastern Baldwin County in southwest Alabama. So let's talk about what you can expect over the next few hours, because we do have an ongoing tornado watch that continues for several local counties, valid until 7 o'clock local time. You've got Washington, Mobile, Baldwin, and Escambia counties in southwest Alabama, and also Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa County in northwest Florida involved in the tornado watch, valid until 7 o'clock. Will that be extended? Yes, it probably will. There's a good chance that it will. You've also got several southeast Mississippi counties and, of course, eastern Louisiana counties involved in that ongoing tornado watch. So let's go back to our radar view here and show you exactly what's happening across the region. We'll talk about inland communities briefly because we haven't really focused on those. And I tell you what, that program, I believe because of the Mobile radar situation, just crashed. So go back over to the iPad while we assess that. And again, I tell you, it is never a good thing for a physical radar to go down, but that is what has happened down at Mobile during the middle of this hurricane. So this is live radar data, and this is from the Eglin Air Force Base site at Red Bay, Florida. We'll put this in motion for you, and you'll see that heavy rain does continue across parts of Monroe, Clark, and Conecuh counties. Those storms well under severe limits, but you are going to have some heavy rain imminently near Alabama Highway 83, near Owassa, out towards Skinnerton, also areas near Lieffey, and up here in northern Conecuh County. You've also got intermittent rain happening across the entirety of Covington County, Andalusia, Opp, Florella, also areas near Strawn, Red Level, Clearview, Libertyville, Carolina, involved in that rain mass in Covington County. But the storms that we are most concerned about as of now are actually down here in the Gulf of Mexico. These embedded cells that look just like that are the ones that we really are going to have to watch. And see these cells developing just offshore? We'll also have to keep an eye on those over the next little bit as those continue to move in from the south. Let's look at the velocity view coming from Eglin Air Force Base just to make sure we're not about to have another tornado warning. You've got some stronger winds coming into areas near Bruce and near Ebro in Walton County there, and also in Washington County over in the Florida Panhandle region. But I do not see anything that would suggest an imminent tornado threat for our local area. Here's Ida, by the way, the radar view. Look at that. Wow. Classic radar view of a Category 4 hurricane now inland in the southern bayous of Louisiana. Outer eye wall coming into areas near the New Orleans metro over the next little bit. And so the weather is going to be at its worst from this hurricane in the city of New Orleans over the next 3 to 5 hours as this system continues moving off to the north. It's really moving off to the northwest just like that. And so on that track, going to be an issue for areas near Gonzales, Baton Rouge, Donaldsonville. You've also got Prairieville, Louisiana. Flash flood warnings in effect here. 10 to 15 inches of rain possible over in eastern Louisiana. Also, I just got a message from law enforcement in Baldwin County. We have had no reports of damage in Baldwin County due to that tornado-warned storm that we were tracking a moment ago. So that is certainly a bit of good news coming out of Baldwin County on this Sunday evening. And once I get this program back up, Bruce, we'll go back over to LD1. I need to get this situated, though, so we can go back to that. Also, we do have a new flash flood warning that's just been issued. So we'll talk to you about that before we get out of your hair. Let's zoom in here. And if you'll take me back over to LD1, we'll show you the situation as it stands. We have ongoing flash flood warnings that continue this evening for parts of Escambia, Florida, Escambia County, Florida, Baldwin County, Alabama. The Mobile Metro is involved in a flash flood warning valid over the next few hours. In addition, we're getting a new flash flood warning for Escambia, Florida, and that is going to be for the Pensacola Metro. I actually see it's just popped up. Here's that new flash flood warning. And the polygon, it's kind of hard to see, but it's right in through here. This is your polygon, and this area includes places like NAS Pensacola, Warrington, also areas near Bellevue, Beulah, the same areas we've been talking about in the previous tornado-warned storm, now under a flash flood warning until 10:30 tonight. So flash flooding is happening in parts of southern Escambia County in Florida. If you'll tilt that monitor around for me, please, sir. I do want to go through a few of these graphics with you and talk about what we can expect over the next several hours. Tell you what, before we leave this system, though, I do want to go to the convective outlook and show you that we do have a level 2 out of 5 tornado risk. And this is going to continue into the overnight hours. I know it's been a long day. It's been a long week around here, frankly, ahead of this hurricane, but we are not done yet. We got a long way to go. And this is going to be a system that lasts into Monday. We're now on Sunday evening, so for at least the next 24 hours, most likely, we will have an ongoing tornado risk. It's likely not going to be a situation where we have nonstop tornado warnings, bit after bit after bit, but we certainly could have intermittent tornado warnings across our entire region. Lower end risk over here on the eastern side of our region. For places like Greenville, Andalusia, Opp, and Crestview, you have the lowest tornado risk of anybody in our area. But back here to the west, all of Escambia, most of Escambia, Alabama, I should say, Washington, Mobile, Baldwin, Clark, Monroe, and then of course Santa Rosa and Escambia in Florida, tornado risk continues over the next few hours. Let's go to our graphics so I can show you the tropical storm warning that continues. We have had tropical storm force winds down around Dauphin Island. Wouldn't be shocked to see more in areas near Mobile Bay in terms of those wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. That's why you have a tropical storm warning continuing for all of Mobile and Baldwin counties and Mobile Bay, including areas back here in southeast Mississippi. This is a tropical storm warning, and you have a hurricane warning, of course, that continues for much of eastern Louisiana, including New Orleans and Baton Rouge, because of the core of Ida about to move through over the next few hours. In fact, Ida is really affecting New Orleans at this point. We'll end on this note. Let's go to LD1 and show you the system as it stands now. No active tornado warnings. Let's see, it's 4:32 p.m. No active tornado warnings for any part of South Alabama or Northwest Florida, but we are expecting more in the way of impacts here due to Hurricane Ida. Again, there's the center of the eye of the storm in Louisiana. We are on the eastern side, meaning more issues are likely in the hours ahead as these storms continue to stream in from the Gulf of Mexico. Once Ida moves farther inland in about 24 hours, that's when our threat from this system will go down. We're also tracking Tropical Storm Julian well out in the Atlantic and Tropical Depression 10 down around the Lesser Antilles moving to the north. Those systems, both of them, are not going to be issues for our local area. A few more areas to watch out in the Atlantic, but no imminent tropical threat behind Ida, at least over the next 5 days. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Megginson saying goodbye for now. If we have more tornado warnings, of course, we'll jump back on the feed on Facebook Live and on YouTube to bring you
Be sure to
the
find
very
us
latest.
across
Cut
social
me
media.
off.
And don't forget to download the free Red Zone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our Red Zone weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.